Hi there, my name's Jeff. I'm going to walk you through some of the new features in rStones as of February the 15th, 2012. We've added some new features in the product that makes it even easier to use for folks that are doing rhinestones. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the macro there. If I was to just create a circle on the screen like this, one of the things that might be new to you is the ability to create custom catalogs. It now comes with a couple of different ones at the moment. And you can create your own, and we may be adding new ones in the future based on customer requests. So that's an important new addition. The other thing that's brand new is this ability to add stones around a shape in a certain sequence without having to use what we had in the past called the middle line with fill option, where it would go from small to large to small stones. Or, depending on the shape that you're trying to fill, it would try and fill it automatically with the various size of stones. But what we've done since then is something, we'll get into this a little bit more later, where I just have, let's say, a line like that. If I was to choose a specific color, such as these, and pick a range of sizes, and you can see what will happen here. It's put them along that curve very quickly from large to small. So that's a very interesting new feature there. In fact, why don't we just go ahead with that. I'm just going to get rid of a couple of these nodes. Something like this. And if we were to move, let's say, the rotation pivot point down to somewhere maybe there. Just duplicate it around a few times like that. And then just go ahead and apply stones to it. Very quickly you can do a design such as this, which just took moments, or if you hit Control Z, go back a step. And let's look at some of the other options that we have here. You can kind of see what's going on very quickly. I'm just going to put something behind that so you can get an idea. What do you think? Pretty nice, isn't it? Alright, so you can do a lot more complicated things than that, of course. In fact, why don't we just simply create a couple of rectangles like that. And if I hit Combine, Control L, very quickly we have something that's like that. Or how about if we went to something like that? There you go. So lots of fun. Big new feature because it makes it so much easier to create more organic designs or play with different sizes over a distance of a simple curve. Right? Okay, so the other thing is, so we've covered the new catalog ability, the ability to export a catalog, which is a pretty interesting feature for backing up your own catalogs or trading with other people or importing catalogs that someone else may have already made. And we've talked a little bit about this great new feature to apply a variety of stone sizes over a distance very easily. And let's hop on over here. These are various methods to fix, let's just show you what this does. If we go to, there's different ways of filling an area, and I'm just going to select one stone there real quickly. It's just doing a simple fill like that. And by the way, a lot of people aren't sure about this, but if you have a function where you just want, or have a situation where you just want to quickly put down plain circles, you can toggle this button down here and it'll go between rhinestone or plain circle mode. Plain circle mode is much quicker response because it's not dealing with any bitmaps in the file or in your CorelDRAW document. There are some ability to do other things with grids and stuff like that. I won't get into that at the moment. Even with bitmaps, I tend to shy away from doing that. It's better to work with vector shapes whenever you can, in my opinion. It just gives you the best cleanest artwork. Okay. There's something here called island fill, which is a pretty powerful feature, and this allows you to do things like this. You can see how you can determine a depth into a shape. So for example, if I was to undo that and pick a depth of 2 instead of 1, you can see how it's gone an extra step into the middle of that rectangle there. So let's just try something very simple. I'm just going to offset another square there and welded it together. If I undo that, go back to, let's say, so we set this to 3, we choose a much smaller stone, see what that looks like. See how the easiest to create designs like that? Very nice. And even if we had, let's say if we selected all those nodes and converted them to curves and did some crazy shape like that, if we hit Make that 2. You can see how it's very nicely and elegantly spaced those stones out around that type of shape. Right? Very good. Okay, so I'm just going to select all those stones there, get rid of them easily like that. Go back to this feature here. If we were to choose a variety of size stones, we could try small to big, see what happens there. Or we could try something like that. Just going to back out a notch. Now, if you have just plain circles in your design and you want to convert those to real stones, there's a feature on this tab here where it'll convert from simple to real stones like that. Now, because there's a variety of sizes going on there, one of the things that can be overlooked is how to change the color of those. And all you really need to do is select everything and then right-click on another color and go Apply Color to Selected. And there you go. I'm just going to try this. There we go. See what it's done there? It's updated all of those stones with a new color, and even though there was multiple sizes of stones. Okay, so let's say we've got something like this, and we wanted to output this. What I'm going to do also is I'm just going to put a simple circle in here, and we'll give it a different color just for the moment so I can show you the color separation ability. How about that? And then we'll give this a island fill. Okay, so it's not really an attractive design there, but just to give you an idea. So I'm going to hit Control A to select everything there. If we go up to the menu here and choose Stencil, it'll create, you can do separate same stones, create registration stones. And when it says separate same stones, what that means by that, it's going to do, in printing terms, they would call it color separations. But a couple things in this window to notice here. The Offset tab will allow you the opportunity to do some fine adjustments to the actual circles that it creates later for your laser or your vinyl cutter. So even though you're working with a certain dimension of stone in the interface here, the size of the simple circles it will create later can be tweaked globally for output purposes, and that can be really powerful. So anyway, let's just see what we've got here. And let me just back up a notch. It's actually broken apart the different sizes for those different size stones. So this may or may not be desirable depending on what you want to do or how you're making your templates, but it did separate the stones into separate things you could output. Technically you could, if this was all going to be the same color and you wanted to create one simple stencil where you were brushing in, let's say, the largest stones first in order to fill in these ones, and then on the same stencil you wanted to brush in the medium-sized stones and then brush in the smallest stones last. You could do something like that. And all you need to do there is just select all of these, hit CE, and they're all in place, and then well, they're ready to go. So you've got the green ones and then you've got the aqua ones over there. So it really depends on what you want to do. But what we have here is just simple circles. If I was to break down into that group, it's just a vector circle that'll output onto a laser or vinyl cutter. So the offset function, like I said, it'll increase the size of those simple circles later on if required. And one more thing I wanted to talk about here. I'm just going to minimize this for a moment. There are a couple of viewing modes with the macro. You can look at it different ways. I tend to use the taller mode myself, or you can hide it and just kind of keep it out of the way for a moment while you do other things. I'm just going to type my initials here, and let's see. Alright, so let's say I've got this type of a font going on. I'm not sure if I like it the way it is, but okay, we'll just leave it like that for now. Anyway, one feature that's in here that's actually really good is the, and I find it better than Corel's method, is the centerline trace module that comes with this. I worked with the author to get it in here because Corel's centerline tracing is a little bit harsh. We can access it in here if you ever need to, but I'll show you what I mean by that. If we go to make central line, you do have the Corel draw method in there, but the E-cut method I find is better. So what that did is if I get this, just get it out of the way, we've got a very fast way to do it, get a center line on a shape. So for example, let's go back to here, and we can just go back to this one. We'll just pick a single stone, such as 2.9. And you could even, by the way, let's see what we have. We have a group of 2 objects. I'm just going to ungroup those. And even though they're not, I'm just going to see if I can smooth this one little node out here. Even though they're not combined as a single curve, they, if you select them both, it will apply stones to both of them very easily like that. We've got a little collision there, and one thing that people sometimes aren't sure about is how to deal with that. Even though it says fix intersections on this tab, it doesn't work as well as I would hope. And what I find works best is if you go over to this tab and use the intersections module. Works better. And I'll show you that right now. So I'm just going to hit Control A and go to, just click on this button right here and watch what happens. Do you see what happened there? Instead of just getting rid of one of those 2 stones that was in the way, it did what's called shift and delete. And what that means is that it'll find the average space between those 2 stones that were there and put one in the spot where, whereas the average distance was between them. So if I hit Control Z, you see it's got this, and if I go ahead and redo that, I'm just going to hit Control A there. It's perfect. It's beautiful, and that's why rStones really is, I think, the best solution for this kind of stuff. This one here looks like it might be a little close for some output devices, but I mean, you can always just manually adjust some little fine-tuning things like that. All right, or what I'm going to do is go in here, select all stones like this, hit delete, and what if we were to select this and use the fancy new tool here and picked out, I don't know, maybe 3 different sizes of stones. Now we have something that's kind of interesting. We can always drop in a texture behind that. If we go to here, set texture, let's see here, we need to just convert this to a curve, Control Q, and go to set texture, black denim. There's a variety of different colors you can put in there now. It's just to see how it looks against, like that. I'll just send it to the back. Shift page down. I'm not sure if I like the color of that. And again, if we want to see what that might look like with a type of crystal in there, I'm just going to choose Apply Color to Selected. We can get rid of the master shapes there if we want now. Oh, why do we have a collision there? I'm going to have to get rid of that. Not a problem. So the stones in rStones are special shapes. And I'm just going to zoom in on and make sure that was dealt with. Oh, you know what? I don't think we ever hit to clean up any intersections on this one. That's why it was still there. Again, you can do maybe a little fine-tuning if necessary. Hopefully you're comfortable enough with CorelDRAW to move around, zoom in, and these types of things. If I set the texture here to be, let's say, black denim, let's see what that looks like. A little more dynamic to look at. But anyway, so that's one quick idea there. There are some t-shirts you can drop in here. It's a bit of a library to use if you want. And that's the main stuff right now. So if you have any ideas for rStones, always go to macromonster.com. You can send me a note. Many of you are probably already using the product, and I congratulate you and thank you for your support in the past. It's helped continue development of it. And so those are just some of the new things in rStones, and I hope you enjoyed the quick tutorial, and I'm sure there'll be more things to come with it in the future. Take care.